Hey guys, this is Danish. I'm back again with our free community webinar sessions where we invite experts from immigration, residency, getting double like second citizenship, and all other areas to help all of my community members. 150,000 of you. So today we have a very incredible, very special guest, John from Vancouver, Canada, and he's a director from Latitude, and he will be actually sharing about very exciting programs actually where you can actually buy citizenship. This is a very interesting idea and especially very relevant for us digital nomads because we sometimes we have we really want to go to the places where but we cannot go because we need to apply visas. So half of my community come from the places where the passports do not allow them to travel free. So that's where this program works out very well. So before we dive in, we were going to dive straight in, but before that, I quickly want to share a few community resources and supporters so that you can get advantage from them. Just a second. First, it's the community supporter. It's visadb.io. I am the founder of it, and it's actually a global marketplace to hire experts. Let's show you an example. So if you go search experts and you type Saint Kitts Nevis, and you can see the John Green is there, and you can click on it, and as you can see, you can see all the details here. The best thing is that free consultation, so you can connect with John today, free of cost. You can ask him how this program works, how it looks like, the processing time. He fills out all the information here, but you can also ask him by just clicking chat with John. Second supporter, we want to give a shout out to Safety Wing. They are one of our supporter, for the community events. They have the best insurance product. 80% of the digital nomads community use their products. They're highly affordable and quite famous in the community. Second supporter, second shout out I want to give out to Mercury. It's a bank for us, to be honest, because without going to the US, if you can open your business bank account remotely, it's like a dream come true. So check them out. And the best thing, it's absolutely free. There's no cost to this bank. It's zero. So yep, it's a John. I really want to show my gratitude to come today, take out your time and speak to us for our community. So really thank you very much. And how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Danish. Thank you very much for having me. It's an honor to be here. So there are other countries. When I started in the investment migration industry in 2008, there was actually only 2 countries offering it, Saint Kitts Nevis. It's being the oldest program, having been established in 1984, but you also had Dominica at the time. It has since grown. 3 more Caribbean countries, Antigua and Barbuda, Grenada and St. Lucia also offer it. And then you go over to Europe, you have Montenegro, which is not yet a member of the EU, but is expected to join soon. So their program's open for the remainder of the year. And then you also have Malta, which is really the world's #1 citizenship by investment option because of their high standards. And lastly, you have Turkey, which is a very popular program, as well as Vanuatu in the South Pacific.
Wow, this is, to be honest, I knew a little bit about these programs, but a lot of my members didn't know that these kind of programs even exist, because they think buying a passport should be illegal. But now you are suggesting that this is government funded. This is actually the governments are doing it. So that makes it like a quite lucrative for many individuals, I guess, who really don't want to go through this temporary residence, put them in the whole path, citizenship path. So
in the Caribbean, that's correct. So other programs are a little bit longer. For example, Malta, which is a bit of a hybrid program, has a 12, is currently taking 15 to 18 months. So it is a longer term program. It's a more comprehensive application progress compared to the Caribbean. But the Caribbean programs are well known to be very efficient in generally under 6 months.
Sure. Okay, so now I'm a digital nomad, and I saw this program, and they are watching you maybe, and they're like, okay, why not? Let's get a second passport. And they know now it's 3 to 6 months, but definitely there must be some sort of requirements, right? That you have to be master's degree. Do you have a master's degree or something? What are the requirements, John?
There are no educational requirements. The number one requirement is a person have a clean criminal record, outstanding character, because there are in-depth due diligence checks that are taking place on both the main applicant and their dependents. So that includes their spouse, their children. Sometimes you can include your parents. And so there is due diligence going on all of these applicants to ensure that they're reputable people that are going to be granted citizenship. So, there is the chance, of course, that some people are rejected by the government because they don't meet their high standards.
Sure. Okay, that's all right. So far, I have covered a lot of visa programs. All of them, even Paraguay. I was talking to you. They require a bachelor's degree to get a residency. So here, there is no educational requirement. The only requirement you mentioned is like having a clean record. Like I think this is quite fair and also good attitude, good character. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it's, source of funds is also important. So able to demonstrate how somebody acquired their wealth, how
Yeah.
they acquired the money to pay for the program that they're going to be going
Yeah.
through is also important.
That
You need to provide things like banking records. And
yeah.
so, there
That
is
that
a
makes
level of due
sense.
diligence.
Like if you have a clean money, whatever money you made, it's paid the taxes if it's applied and everything is clean. That makes sense. So these are the two requirements. Now like we have a short session, and I'm sure there will be a lot of questions. I have people already asking. I see 4 questions there, but let me ask you, what is the cost of this program? Let's say, like, how much investment do I have to make to get this passport?
So each country is going to be slightly different. Some are more advantageous for a single applicant, while others offer better value for families up to four or even families six or more. And so it all depends. Generally speaking, you're starting from just over 100,000 US for a program. And again, that's going to vary. And each program generally offers at least two qualifying options. One is a contribution to the government that's non-recoverable, and that's the 100,000 price. The second is generally an investment in real estate, and mostly it has to be in a government-approved development in order to qualify. But those are the two main options. Some other countries have a third or a fourth option, but those are the primary ones.
Wow. So to recap, it's like the two options to make this $100,000 investment: either a donation, which kind of like a bank wire or cash or whatever, and the second is that you buy a piece of land there, correct?
Not so much land. Generally, it's going to be in a hotel project, or sometimes it can be in an apartment or a villa. Generally, raw land on its own, in most situations, won't qualify.
All right, and so I will go back. We having already having questions, but I will, set the base for our this whole program. So now we know the requirements, we know the investment, we know the processing time, and this donation we make, let's say it's $100,000. This is like gone, right? If we make $100,000 investment in the property, how can we sell it later on, or how does it work?
Great question. So, generally speaking, the 100,000 investment level is on the donation side. For real
Sure.
estate, again, it's going to depend on the country. It generally starts from 200,000 and up.
Sure.
And
Oh,
so in most countries, you must hold that property for a 5-year period. You're free to earn rental income on it. And then after 5 years, you're free to resell it.
that makes sense, of course, right? Why there should be incentive for both the parties, right? And so that's incredible. And of course, Latitude offer all the citizenship by investment programs, and you can help them. And we will get to your fees at the end, or how does it work to contact you. But I will go back quickly to questions because I noticed like half of the time is already gone. So Jessica asked, I'm waiting to see if you will cover the $100,000 in US. Can it be in the form of real estate purchase or business creation? I think you already answered, but would you like to cover it?
Yeah, so exactly. So generally, it can be in real estate, but then you're starting at either, depending on the program, 200,000 or even 400,000 minimum investment.
Uh-huh.
Um, And so that's the donation is the one that starts at 100,000.
Sure. Okay, so Jessica, yeah, if you want to buy a property, then of course $100,000. No, it's not that program. It's a subtype of a program which is start $2,000, $200,000. So yes, totally, you can do that with that program. 100,000 is just a donation. Olivia is asking, if I have a 4-year-old kid, how can she benefit from us getting a second passport? I'm from Argentina.
Excellent question. So all of these programs allow you to include your children under 18, children over 18, sometimes up to the age of 30, as long as they're enrolled in school full time, or they're financially dependent on the parents. And then also programs, each one's a little different, allow you to include parents if they're 55 or sometimes 65 years of age and older. And then how can your children benefit? It's a very good question. Certainly, one of the main advantages of a second passport is you're no longer relying on a single government to take care of you. You have increased your visa-free travel. So, to give you an example, the Saint Kitts Nevis passport has visa-free travel to over 150 countries. So, previously, a lot of people, maybe they come from a country with only 50, 60 countries they can travel to visa-free. So, they're constantly sending their passport away to get a visa. It's a time-consuming process to wait. Sometimes you're rejected, because you didn't quite fill out the form correctly. And so this alleviates all of that. You're able to travel quite freely. Other times, someone's current passport is filling up. The pages are constantly getting stamped because they travel so much, especially digital nomads as they go around the world. So having a second passport alleviates the need to wait for that passport renewal as well. And interestingly enough, our fastest growing market is the United States.
Wow.
As many American clients are looking at reasons why they want a second citizenship, and so
Yes.
that's our fastest growing market right now.
Wow. This is incredible. Olivia, second question, Olivia asked a follow-up question. Is there a program that is better than other for families? I think John stated that there are some other programs, I think some in Europe as well. Is that correct? Is there, John, a specific program which kind of beneficial for families?
Well, I think from a cost perspective, Antigua and Barbuda is a program that resonates with families because of their pricing is quite competitive for families. If you look at a program that has the most benefits, then you may want to look at European options like Malta or Montenegro, but they are more expensive. Malta is an EU country. Again, it's a longer process, 15 to 18 months, and it's a very rigorous, comprehensive application process. However, once you're a citizen of Malta, you now have the right to live and work anywhere in the EU, which makes it so attractive. On the other side, though, is the cost. It's about 950,000 euro for a single applicant, which is a non-recoverable cost. So
Wow.
it's not a program for everyone.
Yeah.
And then, kind of in between the Caribbean and Malta, you have Montenegro, which is close to €500,000, which is a combination of a donation and a real estate investment. And while Montenegro is not yet a member of the EU, it's expected to one of the next countries to join in possibly 3 or 4 years' time. And so then the passport would, increase in value, of course, once it becomes a member of the EU. But that program's only open till the end of the year. It's a limited time program.
Wow, we will invite John, guys. If you're watching it, we will invite John for other countries as well, or John's team, one of the team members from different countries. We will cover all the programs every 2 week or in upcoming months. So John asked, like, if I'm interested in getting a passport that covers the Schengen area, will I be able to apply for jobs and work in France? I'm an American citizen.
It's a good question. So simply having a passport, say from Saint Kitts Nevis, the passport itself affords visa-free travel to Europe, but it doesn't afford the right to work in Europe.
Yes.
So the only
No, but
way
she
to
gets
do
John, the passport, if she don't, if she get the passport like for, let's say, Malta, which is, or Greece maybe, which comes in the Schengen area, will then be she will be able to?
yeah, the Malta program would permit that, allow them to work. Of course, it's more costly.
Yeah.
Greece or Portugal are what we call golden visa programs. So they're residence by investment. You're investing in those countries in return for a residence permit, which in Portugal, it allows you to live and work in Portugal. Greece, it doesn't allows you to live in Greece, but not work. So each program, those are slightly different options. Those are what we call residence by investment as opposed to citizenship by investment programs. And that's the biggest distinction. Now, Portugal is a flexible path to citizenship. It's about a 7-year journey. And once you're a citizen of Portugal, yes, then you have the right to live in France or Spain or Germany. But it's a longer path. So in the short term, getting that Portuguese residence permit would allow you to live and work in Portugal only until you
Sure.
graduate to citizenship.
Wow. Oh, damn. To be honest, did not cover that. But guys, so John also offers services not only to buy passports, but also to get residencies in about 10 countries, correct?
Yeah, in total, we offer over 20 programs. So it's
Wow.
a lot of different investment based programs that we
Yeah.
offer, both residence by investment and citizenship by
Yes.
investment programs from around the world.
This is incredible. So guys, if you have capital, of course, all the programs John offers by investment, citizenship or residency. But the best thing is that you don't need to go through the normal visa process. You get direct permanent resident. Okay, John, one question though. Like these residency programs, do they offer permanent residency or temporary?
It depends. So again, it really depends on the country. So you look at Portugal, it starts off as a temporary visa that must be renewed in year 2, year 4. And then after holding resident status for 5 years, you're eligible either to apply for permanent residency or citizenship. Malta has a program known as the Malta Permanent Residence Program. So it is PR from day one. So that's different than their citizenship option. But again, each program is going to be a little bit different. And I didn't mean to delve into the residence programs, but you had mentioned Greece, so I thought I'd just make that distinction between citizenship and residence by investment.
John, what type of profile you see who is actually taking advantage of these programs? Because you've been doing this business for like, I don't know, 15 years. So,
Yeah, I mean, traditionally China was the number one source market for these programs. But that really changed, especially during COVID. Demand from China plummeted. And starting in about 2015 is where we saw an uptick in the US market. And now, as I said, it's our fastest growing market today is the United States, so much so that we were the first global firm to open up an office in LA, in the United States, which is in LA. And but of course, I would say the type of profile generally they're well-to-do people because it's an investment-based program. You need to have at least 100,000 or more to be able to spend on these. So it's not for everyone. They're not work visas or skilled worker categories. They're investment-based. And of course, you have people who have a weak passport. So not just those looking to diversify their passport, but they have a weak travel document. Whether that's a country like China or Pakistan. Every time they want to go somewhere, Nigeria is a good example. South Africa. Every time they want to go somewhere, they have to apply for a visa. That's time consuming. So these programs alleviate that problem, and it's really valuable for international business people who travel a lot.
yes, I have the both world's best passport and I have the world's worst passport. I'm a naturalized Canadian as well. And as to your point, in next month, I'm literally touching 6 countries in next month for business and for personal reasons. And to be honest, I can't imagine if I have a Pakistani passport now because I couldn't do that. I couldn't do this business. I couldn't do this. So it's really, really highly valuable. People don't realize it who have stronger passport. Even like now, the U.S. people from United States, they're considering it because they notice how the world is shaping up. So one more question: like, is it the geopolitical events also kind of make these programs like important for individuals?
No, 100%. I mean, it's a lot of people consider a second citizenship like a life insurance policy. You never want to have to use it, but should the need arise, you're certainly glad you had the foresight to obtain it. And I think a good example is for a lot of programs shut down to Russian clients because of the geopolitical or the war right now in Ukraine. And so a lot of programs said, we're not going to accept Russian clients. Whereas there was a lot of people that from Russia who are now saying, oh, I want a second citizenship, but these programs have closed. But those who had the foresight ahead of time, were able to attain a second citizenship. And I think that applies to everywhere. You saw that with the war in Syria as well. Those before the war broke out had that. In the United States, a lot of people aren't always happy with what the direction of the country is headed in right now, and so they're looking at more options, for something down the road, not just immediate, but what's the country going to look like in 5, 10, 20 years down the road. I want to give my children more options in life, and that's where these programs come up, because it allows them to continue living in their home country, yet they acquire citizenship of another country, and that's the key. The vast majority of these programs have no residency requirements. And so it's very easy to apply from your home country and not have to travel to the country in order to apply. And that's another attractive point
Wow.
that they offer.
This is incredible. So Jessica, there is a link at the top. You can see that. You can chat with him. Go on this link and click, and you will connect with John's team. I want to give shout out because I know John for a few years now. I mean, there are only a few providers, but John's latitude is there. They're kind of veterans. I think you guys been doing it for many, many years now. And you also you're quite famous in the industry. People may not know coming from digital math community because we are usually not hanging out in these kind of industry. So I can, and also guys, John is community approved. So he's our official community approved second passport service provider for all of us. So feel free to reach him out. And as I said, there's no obligation and no cost to get a free consultation, to talk to John, to understand, to share your case. And his team's amazing and ultra professional, and they will definitely help you. Especially Jessica, you seems like you really want to connect with John. So John, we understand the requirements. They're not a lot. We understand the investment, and 100,000, to be honest, people coming from the United States, I don't see it a lot. It's quite okay. And the processing time you mentioned, but now I want to ask you, what is your role? What do you guys offer? Let's say somebody's ready, they come to you. What's the process look like?
Excellent. As you identified, Danish, we offer a complimentary consultation. So we'll review client situation with them and help determine the best program for their particular needs. Once a client is ready to proceed, we would have them complete our initial due diligence form, and we run our own background checks on clients before accepting them. Because one, we want to make sure they have a high probability to be accepted by the program. But two, we want to make sure that we're protecting our reputation as a firm, as we don't want to be submitting applications to governments for people with reputational issues. So we're very conscious of our own reputation and how we work. We're licensed in all of these countries to offer citizenship by investment programs, be it in the Caribbean or Malta, etc. So we're able to promote these programs as we're authorized by the government to do so. That gives a quick summary. And the other thing I'll mention is we're not only helping clients, but we also advise governments on how to set these programs up. So our government advisory team has experience in setting these very programs up, from drafting the legislation to designing the application forms to hiring the government staff to run the program. So it gives us a unique insight to how these programs operate.
Wow, that shows how much deep knowledge you might have, because you're kind of helping the governments to make these programs. So incredible, John. So I really want to show my gratitude, John, that you shared incredible knowledge. Of course, we have a lot of questions, and I already see people asking about Malta, and we have to cover the residency programs. So we will be inviting you or one of your team members very soon, and we will cover one of the European citizenship program and also a general webinar for all the residencies program. I think residency is also very important, and I have a lot of people from India. The like next new millionaires will be coming out of India, and they are already seeking out these options. So thank you, John. And we already shared your contact information. So everybody's watching me on YouTube or here. There is a link also in the YouTube link, in the YouTube description. You can check the link and you can connect with John. And we will be listing all John's program on the visadb.io. So if you don't find this interesting, there are 24 programs John mentioned. So sky's the limit. Check it out. There is something for everyone. Either you're looking for residencies or for citizenship. And you already saw John's expertise and their professionalism and their experience. So you will be in safe hands. And that's why we made an exclusive partnership with John. So thank you very much, everybody, for listening. John, really appreciate it. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Danish. I appreciate you having me. I look forward to hearing from your listeners.
See you soon. See you very soon. Cheers.
Take care. Bye-bye.